With the twists and turns in life, what if the secret to moving forward is actually walking in circles? In his new book, The Way Around, author and ultra runner Nicholas Triolo takes us along on 3 powerful pilgrimages from the Himalayas to Montana, where the destination isn't the point. This is an inspiring story about finding meaning by going nowhere, and Nick joins me now to explain. Hello.
Hey. Nice to be here.
Yes. So first book, and it's all about going nowhere. So please explain, what does this mean?
Yeah, it was a tough sell to say that I wrote a book about walking in circles.
Yes.
But yeah, it essentially is a 3-part book that really gets to the heart of the act of circumambulation, which is the world's clunkiest word, but that describes a circuitous pilgrimage. It's a pan-cultural practice, 5,000 years old, found on every habitable continent, where humans will walk in circles around monasteries or mountains. And it took me, it really struck me as a really unbelievable form of kinesthetic restraint. That was also a sort of counter shape to something that I grew quite frustrated with as an endurance athlete, where in my communities people were talking about mountains as, peak bagging, king of the mountains, summit fever language, really sort of extractive language around mountains. And so I was craving a sort of counter narrative to that. And I found this ancient practice of walking in circles around mountains, leaving the summit alone. And I found that quite compelling. So the book is about a 10-year meditation on what it means to sort of stay off the summit, really.
Wow, that's so intriguing. And you actually are friends with the lead singer for Death Cab for Cutie, right? So tell me about the friendship there and your adventures together.
Yeah, so Ben, lead singer of Death Cab for Cutie, met him about 10 years ago, 12 years ago, and he's a big runner as well, and we became friends. I started training him he hired me to come on tour with him. And so I was like a roadie for him for about a month while the Postal Service, his electronic side project, was touring, and I would basically just find the best trails on tour for him and basically like train him on tour and get him into wilderness every day before his concerts. And we became great friends, still are, and we'll be talking tomorrow night.
That's so amazing. That friendship is so cool when it's built on something that you both are passionate about.
I just actually helped him run a 100-mile race in California like 2 weeks ago. And he finished in 27 hours, and it was incredible.
Oh, I could never. Okay, this book also traces your journey through 3 sacred sites, right? One in Tibet, one in Butte, Montana, and then California. Mm-hmm. What did these experiences teach you?
Yeah, they've taught me a lot of things, and they're all very different, and I could talk to you for hours about all of these parts, but Mount Kailash is this crazy 21,000-foot mountain on the western edge of Tibet. And then the part that goes, that's Mount Tamalpais. Tamalpais is a smaller, more humble mountain north of San Francisco. And then the third part ends up in Butte, Montana.
Yes, we're familiar.
Yep.
Okay.
And it actually customizes a walk around this abandoned copper mine pit, this open pit. So it's sort of an inverted mountain, and it has a larger conversation, ecological and political conversation about where we are in the world and our environmental responsibility. So yeah, it taught me to go from the headwaters of this religious and spiritual tradition in Tibet all the way to modern day and the future and our responsibility to be stewards of a living world. And it taught me to remain humble in my stewardship and be present for what's in front of me.
This is fascinating. You grew up in a family of high achievers, so how did that shape you into adulthood?
Yeah, my mother played Wimbledon. She's one of like the top tennis players in the world in the 60s and 70s. So I kind of was brought into this sort of culture familially of do more, grind, do the reps. And so that brought this tension between ambition and surrendering and feeling enough. And in the ultra running community, it's running 100 miles at a time, running for 30 hours at a stretch. It is a culture of achievement, and it's a bit of obsession. And so how do you strive for achievement and excellence while also feeling in right relationship with your body, with your community, and with the world?
Yeah, and you live in Montana now, and you live in a circle house, right?
I do, yeah. People Magazine just did an interview with me about this. They were obsessed with the house. I live in a yurt-style stucco structure. It's circular, and when I first walked through it to attempt to see if I could buy it, I just knew I had to be in this home. And so as I was finishing this book, I also purchased the Brown house. It's true.
Wow, amazing. I went to school in Montana. We have that in common. Go Grizz, have to get it in
Go
there.
Grizz.
Thank you so much for being here. I really
you.
appreciate it.
Thanks so much.
Fascinating. And just a reminder, Nick will be in conversation with Ben tomorrow night, Wednesday, July 16th at 6 p.m. at the Elliott Bay Book Company.